The I'd go to NIC meetings, and there's a couple things that occurred there, and FEA meetings, but they would line the banquet hall with flags like we do now, and I think we got that idea from the NIC and FEA. And I want to say we got the stand, instead of it's your first convention, from them as well, but I don't know that for sure. In any case, well, I already, in terms of the flags, everyone had giant rectangular flags, and we had this tiny burgie, double pointed, and it just looked insignificant compared to these giant flags. Some of them really giant, and others, just like 8 by 5 or whatever, but others, big. And we looked insignificant. So I had Ed Elings from Ealing Brothers, who provided a lot of our regalia stuff, who we bought it from, come and look at the flags. And I asked him, and he recommended we follow DU's design, which has the delta and the upsilon stacked in the center, with yellow on the two outsides and blue on the inside, and yellow letters stacked rather than side by side, because then you could make one flag instead of having it double-sided if you do them side by side. And that's where that came from. Hauser said I couldn't do that because the Delta Chi law said our official flag was a double-pointed burgie. And I said, okay, this is a banner, get out of here. So people like the rectangular, but people still buy the double-pointed burgie. Illinois has one that must be 25 feet long. They hang from their roof line. It's big. Well, also at the NIC, I saw this, convention ladders. And it was Phi Delta and Phi Kappa Tau that had them. Maybe others did, I know those two had them. I thought it was great, and I wondered if our guys would think they were funny, silly, whatever. And I debated about it. In any case, I decided to bite the bullet, and the first convention I introduced them at was the St. Louis 98 convention, and the guys ate them up. In fact, if you go to visit chapters, they'll wear them at their white carnation formals. They think they're neat as hell. I was surprised. Then I came up with the idea of the big board, having ladders for guys who attended 15 or more conventions. And I remember Rathine saying, where did we get the convention ladders for all those old guys? I said, well, they wouldn't know anything about them. I just had them made, so they've been a big hit. And as I said at the reunion, I'm not a big guy for fluffy stuff, and I consider this kind of fluffy stuff, but it's been a big hit. And I told the story about the Shingle and Ball State. I had this Ball State undergraduate call after the first IFC meeting, and he was upset. He said, at the first meeting, the Greek advisor had everyone say their name, their chapter, and their chapter designation. So, and they'd go, John Smith, SAE, Alpha Deuteron, or, Indiana iota and all this, and it got to him, and John Smith, Delta Chi, Ball State, and he was embarrassed. And he said, quote, "Why can't we name our chapters different like everyone else does?" And I thought that was so funny how he worded that. In any case, and what the Ball State chapter got to doing, our shingles, as you know, are very plain. You know, your name, the seal, the coat of arms, your initiation date, and your chapter. Now, I think we moved the initiation date from this place to under the chapter. But in any case, what Ball State would do was put red and gold ribbons on the corners to dress it up and make it look fancier. And, you know, I just disagree with that. Sometimes an understatement is classier than, you know, trying to dress something up. So, and the shingle, the first one, the designer of the shingle was a guy named Rufus Shirley, who was on our XX. And he wrote an article in the first quarterly called "My First Moose Hunt." And he designed the shingle, and he put an ad in the quarterly, and I think you're right, something like 1909, we'd have to look. And he said one of the stuntiest things you could do was hang your shingle on your office wall. And every other fraternity, for the most part, calls them membership certificates. We call them shingles because of our law background. So that's, I think, unique. I'm real proud of the shingles. And I also think we name our chapters after the school so we could get some of the prestige of the school we were attending that we were so proud of to rub off on our chapter. So the Cornell chapter, what's Alpha Deuteron, you know, and where in the heck is it? So I'm pleased with our shingle. Okay, now let's go and look at this thing here.
Okay, I'm